Coming up, 4 astronauts are on their way to orbit the moon.
A local company is helping TSA workers amid the Homeland Security shutdown.
And a look at what took place at the No Kings protest in Plattsburgh last weekend.
All that plus weather, entertainment, and sports coming up on PS News.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Alina Landetta.
And I'm John Vilka. Thanks for joining us today.
NASA is taking a major step forward in its plan to return humans to the moon after more than 50 years since Apollo 17, with a historic crewed mission now underway. NASA successfully launched Artemis 2 from Cape Canaveral Wednesday, sending 4 astronauts on a journey around the moon. Mission Commander Reed Wiseman is joined by Christina Koch, Victor Glover, and Jeremy Hansen. The mission will test the Orion spacecraft, including life support, navigation, and its heat shield for re-entry. The 10-day journey will take the crew around the moon, including views of regions never seen before by humans. The mission takes the astronauts 5,000 miles beyond the far side of the moon and will be the furthest humans have ever traveled from Earth.
During the ongoing government shutdown, TSA workers in Vermont are still on the job. And now, a local company is stepping in to support them. At Leahy-Burlington International Airport, TSA agents continue to work daily despite the partial shutdown. Beta Technologies, based in South Burlington, has been donating daily lunches to those workers for the past week. The effort came together quickly, with staff preparing and delivering dozens of meals within hours of being asked. So far, over 200 meals, including pizza, pasta, and salads, have been provided. Travelers say the gesture reflects the community's support for federal workers during a difficult time. For TSA workers, the meals are more than just food. They're a reminder that their work is being recognized, even as the shutdown continues.
Student organizations at SUNY Plattsburgh are getting support for upcoming projects, including a return to print for a campus publication. The Student Association approved funding for several groups during its March 11th meeting, including the university's literary magazine North Star. The group received $1,500 to print copies of this year's issue, marking a return to physical publication for the first time since 2021. In recent years, the magazine has been published online, but student leaders say a print edition helps build a stronger sense of community among writers and artists. The funding was approved by a nearly unanimous vote. Printed copies of North Star are expected to be available later this semester, showcasing student writing and artwork from across campus.
Last Saturday, cities across the country gathered to protest in the No Kings rally. One of those protests took place right here in Plattsburgh. PSTV was there to hear from people behind the movement and the issues driving them to speak out.
More than 1,500 people from across the North Country lined Cornelia Street in Plattsburgh last Saturday for the most recent No Kings rally, holding signs, waving flags, and drawing the attention of passing cars. Demonstrators expressed their concerns about the current administration, with many of the issues hitting close to home. Chris Tyson was coming back from a business trip overseas when he was stopped by customs enforcement.
I was asked if I supported the current administration's immigration policies, and I used a line that I got from my wife, basically saying they're doing exactly what they said they would do.
He then says customs officers asked to see his phone, and when he refused to hand it over, he was detained.
It makes this whole experience that we're having right now less theoretical. This is happening to people in our community, it's happening to your neighbors, it's happening to your friends, it's happening to your family. It's important to realize that this isn't just happening on the news, it's happening to people every single day across this country.
Tyson adds that doing what you can to get involved makes an impact, no matter how big.
The number one piece of advice I would give is don't feel guilty about not doing enough. Do what you can. Everybody's going to have different things they can do, different skill sets, different superpowers that in ways they can contribute.
His wife, Kelly, is a chemistry and biochemistry professor at SUNY Plattsburgh and is concerned about the cuts in funding for scientific research and the effect it has on her students' futures.
If we don't get grants, then we have a harder time getting our students the supplies that they need to be in the research lab and to get that really good experience so they can go out and go into grad school or med school or whatever it is they're trying to reach in their careers. And so it definitely affects our ability to prepare our students and help them to get good jobs after graduation, which is really what we want to try to do. So we're definitely feeling the effects of everything that's going on. And again, that's one of the main reasons I'm out today, is I want to support my students, build a better better future for them.
Creative signs weren't the only way to bring attention to the cause. Attendees also brought bells, drums, and a giant homemade marionette. Costumes also seemed to catch people's eyes, with some outfits having a deeper meaning.
These costumes.
Yes,
You probably noticed. We have handmaiden costumes.
The Handmaiden's Tale is about the suppression and control of women's bodies and their sexual reproductive rights, which is definitely under attack right now.
John Burns, a Vietnam veteran, was there to express his concerns about the handling of wars and foreign affairs.
He supports himself, not the military. He really uses them for his own purposes.
Above all, event organizers wanted to make sure everyone was safe during the demonstrations.
Everyone that is on the safety team went to a specialized safety training on what the purpose of the event was and de-escalation and how to work with people to keep them safe and remove people if things are escalating and getting out of control.
Saturday's demonstration was the third iteration of the No Kings movement, and many people are already looking ahead to a fourth. With the PSTV News team, I'm Cody Walk, PS News.
For more information on how to get involved, whether it be as a participant or being part of the safety team, you can visit indivisible.org. We'll be back with a look at your weather after the break. Stay tuned.
My name is DeAndre, and I do triple jump.
Yeah, I'm Tegan Jump. I am a student athlete on the women's track and field team, and I'm a thrower.
Andrew Krug, associate head track and field coach, assistant cross country coach.
Now, one thing that's important to me about track and my personal growth is getting better as an athlete and as a person. Because not everybody is perfect, and you just have to work your way up, and then you become the person that you want to be.
We're looking for that discipline and the commitment to everyday training and being there and working to get better. And that will translate well into their lives with schoolwork and eventually careers. So.
It's a lot of time management skills. It's a lot of early mornings and late afternoons. But it's fantastic, and I get to practice with a bunch of cool people.
Hello everyone, PS News weatherman John Carduello here to look at your local weather. Today's highs are Owl's Head at 59 degrees, still 59 degrees over in Vermontville, 60 degrees in Dannemora, 60 degrees in Oswego Forks, a crisp 53 degrees in our lovely Plattsburgh, 54 degrees in St. Albans City, and 54 degrees in the Williston, Burlington, and Colchester area. Now let's take a look at your 5-day forecast. So, starting off on Friday, we're looking at clouds and pretty rainy there with 56 degrees. It's still cloudy, a little colder on Saturday with 45 degrees. Still more rain on Sunday with 48 degrees, cooling off into the week at 39 degrees with clouds on Monday. Sun poking through the clouds on Tuesday with a crisp 37 degrees. That's it for your weather. Now let's turn it back to the desk for your entertainment news.
Good afternoon, Plattsburgh. I'm Alexa Mejia. Let's take a look at what's happening in Hollywood. Some big movies and big names are headed to theaters this April. The month kicks off with a new Super Mario adventure, followed by the drama starring Zendaya and Robert Pattinson. Romance hits the big screen with You, Me, and Tuscany, featuring Halle Berry and Regé-Jean Page. Mid-month releases include the horror film The Mummy and the action movie Normal, starring Bob Odenkirk. And closing out the month is one of the most anticipated films of the year, Michael, a biopic about the King of Pop, played by his nephew Jafar Jackson. From family-friendly adventures to big-budget biopics, April is shaping up to be a busy month at the movies. A Hollywood star and an NFL quarterback are celebrating some big personal news, welcoming a new addition to their family. Haley Steinfeld has announced the birth of her first child with husband Josh Allen. The Oscar-nominated actress shared the news in her newsletter yesterday, revealing the couple welcomed a baby girl. In a message, the two said they're feeling incredibly grateful and blessed as they've taken the first moments with their daughter. The couple did not share the baby's name or date of birth. The announcement comes just months after Steinfeld revealed her pregnancy, followed by the couple's marriage last year. The couple has kept much of their relationship private, but are now sharing this major milestone with fans. That's the latest in entertainment this week. We'll be right back with your sports update after this brief intermission.
Do you play an instrument? Want to jam with fellow musicians? Join the Plattsburgh State Jazz Ensemble. Whether you're into swing, Latin, or funk, the Jazz Ensemble is a fun way to sharpen your skills, meet new friends, and make great music. To sign up, enroll in MUS 394, either for credit or as an audit. Practices are every Tuesday night from 6 to 8 in Myers 300. Find your rhythm. Join the Jazz Ensemble.
Hello, Plattsburgh. I'm Vincent Ferrara. Let's get right into this week's sports action. The Plattsburgh State women's lacrosse team is back in the win column after a strong road performance. The Cardinals defeated the Castleton Spartans 15-9, improving to 2-7 on the season. Maggie Moorer and Ashley O'Hara led the way with 5 points each, scoring 3 goals and adding 2 assists apiece. Brooke Terry added 3 goals, while Erica Dickinson finished with 4 points. The Cardinals pulled away in the second half with a 4-goal run to tie the third quarter to take control of the game. Plattsburgh returns to action today at 4 p.m. when they travel to face the Morrisville State Mustangs in conference play. March Madness is heading to its final stage with the Final Four now set after a weekend of dominant wins and a last-second thriller. 4 teams remain, each just 2 wins away from a national championship. The top-seeded Michigan Wolverines dominated the Tennessee Volunteers 95-62 on Sunday to punch their ticket to the Final Four. Michigan will now face another number 1 seed, the Arizona Wildcats. In another game, the Yukon Huskies pulled off a thrilling 73-72 upset over Duke. Yukon hit a desperation 3-pointer with just 0.4 of a second left to win it. Yukon now advances to face Illinois. The Final Four will be played in Indianapolis on Saturday, with the national championship game set for Monday, April 6th. That's all I have for sports this week, Plattsburgh. Let's get back to the desk.
Thank you everyone for tuning into this week's edition of PS News.
We're your news anchors, John Vilka
and Alina Landetta. Make sure to stay tuned for the next weekly news update as well as all of our upcoming shows.
You'll find all of those shows right here on our YouTube channel. Also, make sure to check out our Instagram at Plattsburgh State TV.
Have a great week, Plattsburgh.